Um, okay, now we have Joachim from Germany. I don't know, but maybe actually you sit in Holland?
Right now I'm in Holland, yes, yes.
Mm. And I think you will present yourself. That was the idea. So, yeah, if you just do that first.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So I'm really happy to see you. Hi. My name is Joachim Lohkamp, and I'm actually from Germany. Right now I was for the last half year here in Holland. And I'm working on a project named YOLOCOM, and it's basically a new form of co-creation platform. And when I say platform, it's not a platform, it's rather like a distributed network. And it's actually a distributed network of mini hubs, which you can say it could be your personal project, your website, and to make it a little bit concrete, what you normally have, you have a website and people don't find you. And how can we benefit actually from the social dynamics that we can observe in social networks like Facebook or Google? So, and this brings me to the bridge to connect it and support social entrepreneurship and projects just like Tikitut. And maybe on the later, I will tell you a little bit about the project called Multinova, which is a European Union research project, and there I'm also part of this consortium.
Can you, let me see, we just come back to last November. You were here in Gothenburg, and if you can explain why you were here, what the reason was, and for the Social Capital World Forum, but what is it for type of forum? And
okay, so the Social Capital World Forum, this type of conference, was initiated by Bert-Ola Bergstrand from Sweden, from Gothenburg, and he initiated also a Facebook group called Living Bridges, which has basically the idea to connect global knowledge from all over the world with local activities. And with quite a few people I met online already, which I have never seen before. And Bert-Ola is really a pioneer in bringing people together and connecting them. And so he had this 4-day event in Gothenburg and introduced us to projects from all over the world. There were local projects like also Tikitut and several others, but there were also presented the Multinova project, which I was just talking about. So it's basically, it uses this tool that we have called Facebook. It could be also Google+, so it's not really that it must be one or the other, to connect us on the basis of interests that we share and projects that we care for, that we pass knowledge through and try to support each other in a field which is really, really new. And since it's so new, it helps when we have our best practices and can share them very efficiently, very quickly.
Okay, the next question we want to put to you is that I know that you have been traveled quite a lot, but on the Social Capital World Forum, you choose to stay at Tikitut. And how come that you did that? How come that you choose?
Well, the reason is I really like to support the people I'm involved with, and I do this now for quite a while. That first of all, I don't travel to places just to see the place. For me, it's always the meaning of travel is that I meet people there. So there's some purpose, some connection to it. And when I travel there, then I also care what type of impact I have on the place where I go. And when you compare it now with a normal stay at a hotel or at a B&B or some hostel, then it's simply transaction based. You come to a town you haven't been before. You get services like a bed to sleep and so forth, and many services you don't need, like 24-hour room service or laundry service. This stuff I don't really need. But what I want is to connect to the people and learn about the culture. And another really important fact for me is when you just go to a hotel, for me it feels like, and from the social dynamic, it's an act of consumption. And there is not really a personal relationship involved. With community-based tourism, it's quite different, because with the money that I spend on staying a night at Tikitut, for instance, is that I help the person where I stay to become a producer, so a little social entrepreneur. And this, I think, it's very, very valuable. And I like to connect, and I like to learn about the culture. And for instance, for me, it's now nice to see you sitting there, because I have been in the same room at the Social Capital World Forum before. I had, I still remember two wonderful ladies who were cooking back in the kitchen a very authentic traditional meal from their home country. So it's like special things, and these type of things you don't have actually in a hotel. So you get maybe a guide where you see the next sightseeing tour or get on a bus or something.
Okay, as you have been traveling a lot and also meeting a lot of people, do you think that you are unusual? Or do you think it will grow people who will value the same as you?
I think it's really growing. It's kind of, you can see this in movements like couch surfing and the sharing economy, that more and more people, they don't care for the status of what type of hotel you go to or something. That was like something 20 years ago, but today it's more like the personal experience and what's going to happen there. Because when you go to a hotel, it's really unlikely that you build a personal connection. But when you go to this community-based tourism, then you really give the serendipity factor a chance to meet and build connections. It's not every time that something happens, but very often it's not like a dead end. It's something. There's a connection beyond the first connection, and that's very, very powerful. It's very interesting. It's kind of an extra adventure you get for free in a way.
I just have do you all know what serendipity is? Serendipity? Can you just say a bit about serendipity?
Okay. So serendipity is something. I'm not the expert that would be Ilkka Kakko in that sense, a friend from Finland, but I would frame it as that it's an unplanned encounter. So it also goes into the direction of social capital. We have a lot of knowledge and we know a lot of people, but only when we meet together and talk about things, these things can come up in the conversation, and then actually when you and I talk, we can find out, okay, I know they're a good source that would help you on your project, or I know this person, and I just connect you and you talk. So this is kind of what's behind serendipity, and it's just another movement, I would say, that it's really growing right now.
We also have on the program about global awareness and global networking, and they already mentioned Living Bridges and Multinova, and those are they have the thought about it. Can you explain a bit more about Living Bridges and Multinova?
Yeah, I think these platforms, they really, or these groups really help us to become aware of certain possibilities, sometimes also problems or ideas, and to share it. And it's a very open-minded sharing process. So when we share something, we don't see the sharing as the final solution. We see the sharing actually as a process to learn. So when we post something and we get into a conversation, then this is kind of a learning process. It's the first step where we connect and where we also can connect then other people again with the topic. And so it's kind of accelerated learning. And we can learn about best practices in local environments and share them all over the world. And especially like with all these different cultures, even in Europe, you know, the cultures are very different. But when we go now, for instance, to Brazil or to Asia, there are many, many things we can really learn from and where they are strong at. And we can share then from the European perspective the things where we are strong in. And when we mingle these, we really can accelerate our projects and innovation and make these whole processes much more resilient.
And about Multinova?
Yeah, and Multinova is actually a European Union research project, and I just see if I can if it works. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this is basically the consortium of Multinova, and my part is the Lohkamp, which I just explained to you. And then we have a couple of other partners in there. It's like prominent partners like the Copenhagen Business School and two more universities, the Polytechnica from Madrid and the University of Crete. But we have also a technical platform expert with Lord Media. We have Bert Ola from Gothenburg with the Social Capital Forum. And we have from Germany an artist who is in experimental art. And we have interaction design. And we also have a game maker in this consortium. And what this diverse group, what we want to do is actually through local events and workshops and meetings to prototype certain solutions, just like we started in Gothenburg with a workshop we did at the Social Capital World Forum. But then again, I was in Gothenburg in this February with the DIY days and the Wicked Solution workshops, where we really try to find out what we can do and how we can do it together and how we can connect our projects together to then come up with some information that we can share with others who are interested in doing the same. And to prove ourselves that it's possible that we can actually pull off these projects and make it visible to others. So this is basically the main idea, because when you can see that something is happening and something is working, then it's also possible to be aware of it and to learn from it. And this is a little bit the idea behind Multinova.
Yeah, I also took up this about Multinova to show like an example on how working together through locally and also globally can be connected and result into something. But then also when I meet people, there's a lot about the internet and Facebook and all this. They are very skeptical. Yes, they are like, oh no, you can maybe have a connection, but it can't lead to anything. But do you think the internet will strengthen the connection between organizations? Is it important?
I think it's a support tool. You know, nothing really can replace the personal relationship. This always needs to be there. So for me personally, it means that I like to travel, so it's not a bad thing. But I also have to travel to sustain these relationships and to build more relationships. And but you cannot only do it on the internet, but it helps certainly to sustain these relationships and share information and tell a little bit about the stories. And here I would even say, you know, right now there's still a lot of written content in the internet, but this will change more and more because there's so much information now. So we have to find ways to visualize these information. And that is also something what I call the social dynamic graph. It's also a part of Multinova, and that is what Lohkamp does to help us in that way. And the second thing, that we are not dependent. So distributed system means that we are not dependent on a platform. We don't join a platform and then we are part of it, but we are rather our own, and then we connect us in meaningful ways.
Okay, I think I will open up if somebody has some questions.
Yeah.
Thinking globally and local. Okay, it's like late after workshop. Everybody is a bit tired in the head, maybe.
Well, it's good if it's all clear, you know.
Or just because sometimes you have to wait a moment, but
yeah.
Because I thought to connect to you just to show also this connection about who could be the visitor of Tikitut. And I think like you are really an example for a visitor of Tikitut. And I think a lot of people who we ask for support or organization, they will think about who will come to northeast of Gothenburg. And I think that Joachim is one of those people who are coming, and that you are part of a very big network of people who will be the people who wants to come, who actually say, I want to change something, or I want, if I put money somewhere, then that money should do something good, or whatever it is. So, or like another reason, which it's a sustainable reason. So that's.
Yeah, and that is also like when you see Tikitut, you know, it's like this personal relationship network in that sense. It really, I tell really everybody, and I mean it from the heart, that I would recommend to use Tikitut if I want to stay in Gothenburg, because it's a personal reference, you know, it's my experience. It's far more intense, I would say, even than a recommendation for a hotel or, you know, TripAdvisor. It's a great platform in a way, but it's still anonymous. So you can say, okay, you were happy and everything, but here it goes beyond, because there's this personal relationship. And when I'm asked, you know, can I stay there? Then I say, yeah, okay, I was staying at Camilla, and I was staying, you know, with Bert Ola, with Ola, and then it's very different. And in Living Bridges, we are really, I think we could say it's kind of a channel that promotes this, and Multinova would be this platform system that would just sustain and promote this. So there's also where this global and local comes together, I think, because it's like in tourism. So you want the guests from somewhere, and there are a lot of people coming to Gothenburg, and this can actually intensify the social connection and relations that a community has. So that Tikitut as community-based tourism is like an accelerator to connect the world to Gothenburg and vice versa. So I think it's a very, very powerful concept. Yes.
Okay. Last chance to ask an international guest of Tikitut a question. But then, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great time there. And bye-bye.
Bye.